edition of the Africa Cup of Nations starts on Saturday, with host Ivory Coast taking on Guinea-Bissau. The competition, which first took place in 1957, sees 24 teams battle it out to be crowned Africa's champions. At the last AFCON, Senegal beat Egypt on penalties to win the tournament for the first ever time. Will Ali Cisse's side, led by Sadio Mane and Kalidou Koulibaly, repeat their success? Or can Morocco build upon their impressive run to the semi-finals of the World Cup in Qatar and lift the trophy? Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, who won Africa Men's Football of the Year award, will be hoping to guide a talented Nigeria squad to glory. Will Mo Salah finally get his crown? Here is all the key information on what to expect over the next few weeks. So, let's start with the basics. The tournament is being held in Ivory Coast, with the 24 teams, who can name squads of up to 27 players, split into 6 groups of 4. They will play each other once, and the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the knockout stages. They will be joined by the 4 best third-place sides, which means only 1/3 of the teams will get eliminated at the group stages. Very similar style to the Euros, essentially. The rest of the tournament will be played single-legged knockout ties, culminating in the final on Sunday, February the 11th. So what are the groups? Here they are on your screen now. Group A, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Nigeria. Group B, Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Mozambique. Group C, we have Cameroon, Gambia, Guinea and Senegal. Group D contains Algeria, Angola, Burkina Faso and Mauritius. Group E is Mali, Namibia, South Africa and Tunisia. And finally, Group F is DR Congo, Morocco, Tanzania and Zambia. So, those are the groups. Now, which teams are the favourites? Morocco made history in Qatar by becoming the first African side to reach the semi-finals of a World Cup. They beat Belgium and Canada in the group stages and eliminated Portugal and Spain before a 2-0 defeat to the eventual runners-up of France. Head coach Walid Regragui has a strong squad, which includes PSG defender Achraf Hakimi, and they will be expected to go very far in the competition. Cameroon's chances of success have been dented after Brentford forward Brian Mbeumo suffered an ankle injury that has ruled him out for 3 months, but they could still pose a threat. Egypt have won the tournament a record 7 times, but it has been more than a decade since their last triumph. They lost the final in 2017 and 2022, and will be hoping Mohamed Salah can take them one step further this time. For Salah, it is one big hole on his glittering CV, and one of his last chances to secure the trophy. Senegal possesses a very experienced squad, and will be confident of defending their ground. They have a lot of talented players, and the core of the side that won the trophy previously are still together. Nigeria's strength in depth up front is frightening. Osimhen is their star player, but he will be supported by AC Milan winger Samuel Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman and many more. They would have also had Victor Boniface, who is on fire for Leverkusen, but he's been ruled out through injury, which to be honest might be good, as Nigeria now have no doubt on who is leading the line. If their head coach can strike the right balance between defence and attack, then Nigeria should go far, but their form over the past 12 months has been very underwhelming. So now, let's see who are the star players and the names to watch out for in the tournament. So I'm going to split this up into a couple of sections. First, let's look at the obvious stars. The obvious names to look out for are Osimhen, Salah, Mane, Hakimi and Ghana's superstar in the making Mohamed Kudus. Man United's goalkeeper Andre Onana is going to be crucial to Cameroon, and former Man City winger Riyad Mahrez spearheads Algeria's attack. But those are the superstars. Now let's look at the key men for their countries who maybe aren't superstars but are going to be vital in this tournament. Johan Wieser has struggled at times this season, but he has still directly contributed to 6 goals in 19 games. This is his first AFCON and he will be crucial for DR Congo's chances of getting out of Group F, which contains the favourites Morocco plus Tanzania and Zambia. For the first couple months of this season, Yves Bissouma was one of the Premier League's most impressive players. Since the red card versus Luton in October, he's not quite hit those same levels, but this campaign has offered a reminder of how good Bissouma can be, and Mali will be pinning their hopes on him this AFCON. South Africa are the biggest exporter on the continent. In footballing terms, Percy Tau is their biggest export, following his move to Brighton from South Africa in the summer of 2018. Tau only made 6 Brighton appearances but showed his class when given a chance. He recently won the African Champions League and helped Al Ali to a 3rd place finish at the Club World Cup. Not many have Tau's experience in top level tournaments and expect his nation to lean on him again in this year's edition. Bertrand Traore's importance to Burkina Faso is in stark contrast to his standing at club side Aston Villa. While his future in England is in doubt, he remains his country's talisman. Captaining Burkina Faso, Traore has made just 6 appearances for Villa this season, but has however been integral to Burkina Faso's qualifying for the competition and more recently, the opening 2 fixtures of World Cup qualification, scoring twice. Traore was Burkina Faso's talisman at the 2017 AFCON as they finished 3rd. If the nation are to progress deep into the tournament this time, Traore will be crucial. The captain of Tunisia and his nation's 2nd most capped player, Youssef Moussagni, is still the side's key player despite being 33. The Tunisia captain can play across the attack but mainly operates down the left wing. Moussagni has tried to win the AFCON 7 times, but he has never managed to match the country's glory of 2004. His best achievement is 4th place in 2019, and wearing the number 7 shirt, Moussagni will hope he can play 7 games to become Tunisia's most capped player. To reach that number, the forward has to lead Tunisia to the team's first target, the semi-finals, but Moussagni wants more than that. He wants to win the whole thing. It's been a strange season so far for Patson Daka. He started the season as 3rd choice behind Jamie Vardy and Iheanacho at Leicester and had only played 1 minute of league football until a month ago. International football was his saviour though. He may have been kept in the shadows at Leicester, but he remains Zambia's main man, and he justified that with 5 goals in just 3 games in October and November for the country. That form for Zambia then came to fore when he finally got a chance at Leicester, and he went on to lead the Leicester line in 6 consecutive games, scoring 4. Daka's focus is now on Zambia, as he carries the AFCON hopes of the nation on his shoulders as they look to add to their famous 2012 victory. Seri Girassi has taken the Bundesliga by storm this season, scoring 17 goals in 14 appearances for Stuttgart, and he will be hoping to inspire Guinea with that form, although there are sweating on his fitness after he injured his knee in a friendly. There are also a lot of talented young players hoping to make their mark too. Here are briefly some to watch. Senegal stormed to victory at last year's Under-20 AFCON tournament, and the star man was midfielder Lamine Camara, who was inevitably named the player of the tournament. That month he moved from Senegal to France, signing for Ligue 2 outfit Metz. They were promoted at the end of the campaign, and he has been a regular this year. Camara has a serious chance of becoming a major star, and this could be his breakout tournament. Less than a year after being the best performer at the Under-20 version, Camara is now ready for the real thing. Ernest Nuama is the latest Ghanaian prodigy to be developed by the right to footsteps of Mohamed Kudus. Nuamba's career has been on a huge upward curve over the past 2 years. He made his debut for Nordsjælland in the Danish top flight in 2022, and in the following season won the Super League's Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year. Last August, Nordsjælland sold Nuamba to Belgium side Molenbeek for a hefty 21 million, and he was then immediately loaned to Lyon. The winger has shown glimpses of his talent, contributing a goal and assist, but it's tricky to excel for a struggling team. Nuamba will be hoping to help perennial challengers Ghana win the African Cup of Nations for the first time since 1982. Less than 2 years ago, Feyenoord winger Yankuba Minter was playing amateur street football in the Gambia. Since then, he has scored within 3 minutes of his professional debut, secured a move to Newcastle, and cemented his position as Dutch champions Feyenoord's starting right winger. He scored against Congo in his debut for the Gambia in September, and is the brightest spark in the lowest ranked team in the tournament. Newcastle fans, keep a close eye on your future star at this AFCON. Ousmane Diomande is a name I mentioned in my breakout starts 2024, so I won't go into too much detail about this, but this tournament is a big chance for him to increase his reputation on the global stage. He has started every game this season as Sporting sit top of the Portuguese league. Having only signed less than a year ago, Diomande is firmly on the radar of Europe's elite sides. With Ivory Coast boasting a strong centre-back selection this year, including Evan Ndika and Willy Polly, Diomande is unlikely to be a nailed-on starter, but you can be confident that this will not be his only opportunity to represent his country at a major international tournament. Benfica have a long history when it comes to producing world-class players, and Frankelino Ju could be another name to add to the list. Ju was sensational at youth level for Benfica, but decided to test himself in Denmark for first-team football, and the 19-year-old has taken to life in Denmark effortlessly. He has scored 12 goals in just over 11 games, including a perfect hat-trick on his Europa Conference League debut. In a group with hosts Ivory Coast and Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau face a tough road to make their first ever knockout stage appearance. If they are to cause any shocks, Chu will be front and centre. Now, along with these, there are also some notable players missing. Ghana's midfielder Thomas Partey is potentially the highest profile player missing. The 30-year-old has not made an appearance since October due to a hamstring injury and will continue his rehabilitation with Arsenal. West Ham winger Said Benrahma has been excluded from Algeria's squad despite being fit, which is strange. And as I mentioned earlier, Victor Boniface and also Wilfred Ndidi are unavailable for Nigeria due to injury. Galatasaray winger Wilfred Zaha was surprisingly not called up for the Ivory Coast, but Sebastian Haller and Simon Adingra have been included in the squad despite struggling with injuries, but we'll see if they can last. One thing to keep an eye out for is whether Onana features for Cameroon in their opening game against Guinea next Monday. The 27-year-old has come to an agreement with the country's football federation that means he is allowed to play for United in their Premier League fixture against Spurs, 24 hours before their opening game. Onana is due to immediately fly to the Ivory Coast once the game finishes and faces a race against time. So which group stage matches should you watch? The Gambia, the tournament's lowest placed side in the world rankings, have the tough task of facing Senegal, the champions, in their opening match. They reached the quarterfinals at the last edition, so do not rule out their chances of pulling off a shock in that game. Keep January 18th free, as there are 2 entertaining group stage games. The Ivory Coast take on Nigeria in front of what will surely be a sellout crowd for the home nation. Then a few hours later, Egypt take on Ghana. The following day, Senegal face Cameroon in a big-name Group C clash. Also, Morocco's fixture against DR Congo on January the 21st will have a significant bearing on who qualifies top of Group side have a squad that includes players from a non-league of English football, and they'll be facing Morocco's stars in their opening fixture. If you like an underdog, then make sure to watch that game because that could be one of the shocks of the tournament. Cape Verde's 26-man squad play in 17 different countries and includes the former Man United winger Bebe, and are another team you could support for a good story. Eritrea is a really crazy story, and if you want a bit of an emotional one, then follow them, as footballers had to escape tyranny in order to play, and many were pressured not to go to the AFCON, but they are there and they'll be looking to do their country proud. So, to summarise, the favourites are probably Morocco or Senegal, but there are a whole host of countries that could do some damage. There are tons of star names such as Mo Salah and Victor Osimhen, and they are all distributed nicely. Pretty much any game you watch at AFCON will feature a player you are fully aware of. The groups are interesting, setting up some monster ties early on, such as Ivory Coast vs Nigeria and Senegal vs Cameroon. You also have some great potential stories from Underdogs Cape Verde, Tanzania or Eritrea. So if you want to watch a fun, exciting tournament where there's no real clear favourite, watch some of the best players in the world and the best up-and-coming talents, then tune in to AFCON this January, because I certainly will be. Okay, so there we go, that is the full guide to the African Cup of Nations. Let me know if you are going to watch the AFCON and who you're supporting if you are watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and if you have enjoyed, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in another